Support court with Judge Vonda B is now in session. Judge, this is case number JVB 1061, Lopez case.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You all may be seated. Ms. Lopez,
Yes, ma'am.
you brought this case before the court. What's going on?
Judge, I have a really great daughter. However, we have a kind of a bad situation. My daughter seems to be so busy sometimes that I think she knows she's a mom, but she kind of has other responsibilities that she's kind of putting in the forefront of everything. And so the last 2 years, it's kind of gotten difficult for me. We have one baby girl, her name is London, and she's almost 2, and my daughter is trying to go to college, work, be a mom, and everything else that she wants to be. And so it's just gotten to a point where it's kind of ridiculous because I need some assistance financially, and unfortunately, I'm not getting it.
Okay. All right, and
All right, guys. Today we're stepping into a courtroom where family ties clash with hard truths. A concerned grandmother brings her own daughter before the judge, claiming she's been left to raise her granddaughter, nearly alone. As we listen, it's clear. This isn't just a legal matter, it's deeply personal. The daughter, overwhelmed with school and work, seems oblivious to the weight her mother is carrying. She believes her academic hustle justifies skipping financial support. But Grandma's had enough, and she's turning to the court not for revenge, but for relief. Judge Vonda B is watching closely. And trust me, this isn't going to be an easy ride. Stay tuned, because emotional sparks are just getting started.
do you pay health insurance for the child?
She is on Medicaid right now because we qualify for Medicaid.
All right. Okay, anything else you want me to know before I move over to her?
That's pretty much the brunt of it, so I'll let her speak her piece and see if we can maybe find a resolution today.
Okay, okay. Yes, ma'am.
So I am a full-time student, college student.
Okay.
So I'm spending most of my times, at nights going to school. But on top of that, I also work for the university during the day.
What do you do?
I'm actually an intern, full-time intern for the psychology program. And so.
Is that a paid position?
Yes, it is.
How much are you paid?
Well, I just got a promotion.
That's
to
good.
50,000.
Okay.
Yeah. I just feel like I work, all day. I go to school at nights. I don't come home.
Congratulations. We all work all day.
Yeah, I don't get home until like midnight, and I don't really see why it's a problem that my mother, the grandmother of my child, has to.
Well, because I'm not the one that got pregnant on prom night. You wouldn't be having this problem.
Okay.
That wasn't my decision.
Okay, but you're my mother, right? So
I had
you
one
always said
child.
you wanted a grandchild, didn't
I
you?
had one child. Yes, I wanted a grandchild, but it would have been nice if you would have got married first and had someone to share the responsibility with, not me.
I can't do it by myself though.
You're not doing it by yourself.
I'm trying to use that money, right? So that way I can pay for my tuition for college.
Well, I can appreciate that, honey, but you know what? Your main responsibility is being a mom.
This is where the heat kicks in. The daughter reveals she just landed a $50K job, but instead of stepping up, she doubles down on excuses. She claims she's giving back by staying in school, insisting that Grandma's role should be unpaid, because after all, she wanted a grandchild. The tension rises as Judge Vonda B jumps in with razor-sharp logic. Would you expect a daycare to work for free? Of course not. So why should her mother, who's doing even more? This isn't just about dollars. It's about respect. The judge begins to make it clear. Being a grandparent is a privilege, but being taken for granted? That's a whole different story.
I agree with your mom. This is your child, and you said something very key while you were talking. You said grandmother.
Right.
You're her child. She raised you. It is not her responsibility to raise your child.
Right.
It is your responsibility.
I just feel like I don't really have to owe her anything.
You don't feel like you should pay your mother? If your daughter were going to daycare you would be paying the daycare, right? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you feel like they should be paid?
Yes.
They're taking care of your child, looking after your child, changing diapers, feedings. They should be paid, right?
Right.
Your mother is doing everything I just named, correct?
Yes.
So it logically follows that she should be paid too, right?
Yeah.
So what's your issue?
Well, she uses her money for the school loans, and I can appreciate that she doesn't want to have school debt.
Right.
But
Yeah,
now
that's a
that
good
she's
thing.
making more money, she's going to have to give me a little bit of that. They live with me. The house is paid. We don't have that bill. So I know she wants to be responsible and not have any debt, but you know, mommy doesn't need to be having no debt and worried about diapers and all that too. And she does try to help, but it's just not enough. And now that she's got a promotion, I feel like she needs to take a little bit more responsibility. I've done everything I can, sweetie.
You know that I'm a double major, right?
I know that, sweetheart. But like I said,
I can't afford
London
to
is
do that.
important too. So,
I know she is. That's why I leave her with you.
well, just like I did a good job with raising
I
you.
leave her with you, and you leave your child with your mother and do not believe that your mother should receive some sort of financial assistance.
I feel like I give something back by being in school. You know, once I do get that education,
What are you
that
giving
degree,
back by being in school?
I'm giving her.
What are your plans after school?
Well, I'm majoring also in psychology, so I
Okay.
planned on opening my own clinic, doing a clinical psychologist, and then from there I could, you know, take care of my own daughter by then. I just right now need
And
some
move
assistance.
out?
Yeah, move out.
Now things take a turn. Judge Vonda B cuts through the emotional fog with precision. She calls out the reality. The daughter doesn't truly live at home. She just sleeps. There. Grandma is effectively the full-time parent. The courtroom goes still as the daughter weakly argues she still tucks the baby in. But the judge isn't buying it. This isn't bonding. It's a handoff. And that's when the real question lands. Why shouldn't your mother be paid? There's no strong answer. You can feel the daughter's position unraveling, piece by piece. This isn't just courtroom drama. It's a wake-up call about grown-up responsibility.
And your mom still takes care of the baby?
No, I could take care of the baby by then. I just need a little bit of help
You
and
can
assistance.
take care of the baby by yourself now.
Thank you, Judge. I appreciate that.
So I'm still not hearing what your issue is.
My issue is just,
Because she's your mom, you don't believe you need to pay her something.
that's what I thought.
Because if you think about it, you really don't live there. You just going to sleep. Mom is taking care of the baby. You'd agree with me, right? If you're coming in at midnight, the baby is with your mom all day. You're literally coming to the house, not seeing the baby, because if it's at midnight, the baby is asleep, I'm assuming.
Right.
And you're going right back out
I
to go
tuck
to
her
school
in.
and work.
I tuck her in.
She's already tucked in, so you just pull the covers over a little higher.
I give
That's
her
what you do?
Christmas
Sometimes she
night.
wakes her up, Judge, and just to play
You
with her for a
wake
little
up the
while.
baby
I
at
mean,
midnight.
just so I can give her a kiss, you know, read her a little story, so that way there is some sort of bonding between us, since I do work, you know, all night long and go to school and all that.
Oh, well, that's nice. But what's going to be nicer is you're going to give your mother some of that money for taking care of your child, because she is footing the bill. She's taking care of everything. And if you think about it, technically you're not even living with her. You're only staying there at night for a couple of hours. And the baby is with your mom. And I'm assuming this happens on the weekends too?
No, on the weekends she does stay home, and you know she does help. And like I said, she does like that. She's like not like that girl that goes clubbing and stuff. She does take that responsibility serious.
Yes.
It's just her job and school, and now she's going to work full time. Now she's going to be working more with the promotion.
Right, because I
So,
got that promotion.
you know, that kind of leaves us with a little extra money and no time, because we hardly had any time now. I can't even imagine what it's going to be like now that she's going full time.
Okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to start your child support so you can at least give mom some sort of assistance. Now, at the time that you move out of the house and you have the child on your own 100%, mom is not babysitting. Mom is not Well, not even babysitting. The child is living with your mom.
Okay.
If the child is no longer living with your mom, your daughter is with you 100% of the time, then you can come back and see me to stop child support at that time.
Okay.
But in
All right, now it's decision time, and the air is thick with anticipation. Judge Vonda B draws a line in the sand. The mother will begin paying child support, and if she ever takes full custody of her daughter, then they can revisit the arrangement. Until then, Grandma deserves compensation, plain and simple. You can see it on the daughter's face. Shock, maybe guilt. She tried to spin this as a temporary situation, but the court isn't swayed by dreams of someday. Responsibility is about the now. In just minutes, the judge turns years of built-up tension into one powerful ruling. Game, set, match, Grandma Original.
till that happens, mom is going to receive some sort of financial break, essentially, until that time happens. So it's going to be based off your income, and you just said that you make $50,000 a year now. So at $50,000 a year, that brings your gross to $4,167. Your net is $3,516.78. There is a reimbursement to Medicaid. Now, you are working full time. You have access to health insurance now?
Yes, yeah.
Do you know how much it'll cost?
I actually don't know. I don't know.
Okay, this is what we're going to do, because Medicaid reimbursement is about $375. That's based on 9% of your gross.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure your health insurance is cheaper than that for your daughter only. So what I'll do is order you to be responsible for that health insurance and give you a credit of $100 towards the health insurance, okay?
Okay.
So that'll make your monthly child support obligation $803 to your mother.
Sorry, baby. You gotta learn.
Okay.
Any questions? No? No questions?
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. If there's nothing further, you all are dismissed.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
12, here comes the final punch, the judge's post-case breakdown. And it's golden. She recaps everything with clarity and conviction, highlighting the emotional backbone of the case. Grandma wasn't being petty. She was carrying the load. Medicaid had to be reimbursed, and Mom, now gainfully employed, was more than capable of contributing. The judge's tone makes one thing clear. This wasn't a punishment. It was fairness in action. No yelling, no drama, just a firm reminder that love alone doesn't pay bills. This wasn't just a ruling, it was a reality check delivered with the kind of grace only Judge Vonda B can pull off.